Undefeated Alabama, third ranked in the nation, faces undefeated fourth ranked Auburn and the Heisman Trophy winner Pat Sullivan in a classic college rivalry. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Texaco and the many thousands of Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for your car. By Holiday Inn, the most accommodating people in the world. By Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA. And by Dutch Masters, the gift cigar, specially packaged for Christmas. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama is bursting at the seams with Crimson Tide and War Eagle supporters. A standing room only crowd as they battle today for the championship of Alabama, the Southeast Conference crown, and here are the undefeated Auburn Tigers and their rooters. 9 victories, no defeats, and they are led by a super young man named Pat Sullivan, the Heisman Trophy winner. A great pass receiver, number 88, Terry Beasley. A great group of linemen. They are all coached by Shug Jordan, who's been at Auburn for many, many years, has compiled a great record, especially against Alabama, having won the last 2 games. And, of course, the Tide, coached by already a legend in his time, the winningest active coach in college football. We're speaking of Paul Bear Bryant. Bud Wilkinson, this is sort of capping what has been the most tremendous week in collegiate football. And of course, starting with a great game in Norman, Oklahoma, a great one at Georgia Tech, and the Army-Navy game just concluded. And this game should be no different. In fact, I think this will be better than all the games we've seen this week.
Well, this is one of those classic matchups. You have the tremendous rushing of the Alabama team against one of the finest pass combinations in the history of college football. Sullivan to Beasley. Auburn, of course, would like to get ahead in the game, and they have the capacity to do that. If they do get ahead, the Alabama running attack ball control game will be a little bit in trouble. Alabama knows that it's almost impossible to shut off a player of Sullivan's caliber for a full 60 minutes, so there are going to be some points on the board.
We have a lot of stars here today, and behind me is a brilliant student. In fact, he is an all-academic student. He'll be honored by the National Football Hall of Fame number 22, Johnny Musso, who was 4th in the Heisman Trophy balloting.
He's also one of the most exciting and courageous runners that I've seen. He's got the burst of speed and that great vision downfield and that desire to pick up the extra yard. He's as good running inside as he is outside. Most of his plays are the pitch off the option play, but this is the direct handoff off tackle, and watch him cut back.
Johnny Musso, who is a native of Birmingham, Alabama, came to games here in the early 60s, as did number 7, the Heisman Trophy winner, Pat Sullivan, and his favorite target from Montgomery, Alabama, number 88, Terry Beasley.
Well, Sullivan is a great thrower, as everyone knows, but an amazing statistic is that this boy has been caught and trapped only 14 times in 3 years of playing quarterback for Auburn. Alabama, of course, hopes this afternoon they can get to him a few times. If he's given time to throw, why, he drills it on target as he is again, and you can see the moves that Beasley has here. That's the second man missing him, and then the third man, and nobody's got eyes in the back of their head, so he did get caught from behind. This next play gives you some idea of the quality of this year's Heisman Trophy winner. Watch him be hit, rush, throw, and right on target.
A passing team versus the wishbone with variations of Alabama. Now to meet the stars, down to the artificial turf, and Bill Fleming.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lineups for today's game. The Crimson Tide of Alabama introducing the defensive players. At defensive left end from Orlando, Florida, number 90, Robin Parkhouse. Defensive left tackle from Heidelberg, Mississippi, number 57, Terry Rowell. Defensive right tackle from Hueytown, Alabama, number 77, Jeff Beard. The defensive right end from Mobile, Alabama, number 97, John Mitchell. Strong side linebacker from Jacksonville, Florida, number 56, Jeff Rousey. Middle linebacker from Chattanooga, Tennessee, number 36, Chuck Strickland. Weak side linebacker from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, number 42, Tom Surlis. Left cornerback from Scottsboro, Alabama, number 49, Steve Higginbotham. Right cornerback from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, number 28, Steve Williams. Strong safety from Russellville, Alabama, number 40, Lanny Norris. Free safety from Dothan, Alabama, number 32, Steve Wade. And in addition to those defensive players, we'd like to introduce offensive left halfback from Birmingham, Johnny Musso, number 22. And the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Paul Bear Bryant. Good luck. And now here are the lineups, the defensive lineups for Auburn. Left end from Columbus, Georgia, number 99, Eddie Welch. Left tackle from Brownsville, Alabama, number 78, Benny Sibley. Right tackle from Birmingham, number 69, Tommy Yearout. Right end from Birmingham, number 92, Bob Brown. Strong linebacker from Miami, Florida, number 51, Mike Flynn. Rover from Birmingham, number 40, Mike Neal. Guard linebacker from Memphis, Tennessee, number 52, Bill Luca. Middle linebacker from Decatur, Georgia, number 39, John Hayworth. Left side back from Huntsville, Alabama, number 19, Dave Beck. Right side back from Birmingham, number 28, David Langner. Safety from Childersburg, Alabama, number 27, Johnny Simmons. And ladies and gentlemen, in addition, the Heisman Trophy winner of 1971, quarterback from Birmingham, number 7, Pat Sullivan. And the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Chuck Jordan.
Thank you, Bill, very much. I know it'll be a great game.
I'm sure it will. Now let's go back to our ABC telecast booth.
The pregame activities have been concluded, and we'll be back for the opening kickoff here at Legion Field in Birmingham.
The biggest play of the game coming up.
Watch it, number 5. Wide
Start
up for me.
I
want to see the whole line.
It's a whole new ball game.
And if you're still watching black and white TV, RCA can make it a whole new ball game with XL100. 100% solid state AccuColor TV. Over 40 models made with circuitry designed for extended life. Each chassis tube is replaced by tough, reliable, solid state devices. Color TV made to last. XL100 from RCA.
Dear clumsy bellboys, brutal cab drivers, careless doormen, ruthless porters, savage baggage masters, and all butterfingered luggage handlers all over the world. Have we got a suitcase for you?
Referee Pete Williams has just put the coin in the air. We have number 7, Sullivan, along with co-captain Tommy Yearout, and 22 seniors for the University of Alabama. Number 22, Johnny Musso. Auburn has won the toss, and incidentally, Musso, number 22, has always called tails because that's what he called in the very opening game when they defeated Southern California, and they won the next 9 to be undefeated 10-0. But this time it came up heads, Auburn winning. They will be receiving to our right. Alabama in the white jerseys with crimson trim will be kicking from left to right. There's very little breeze. The temperature is near 57 degrees, and Bud, on the artificial turf, it's going to be a hummer. A moment ago, Bill Fleming introduced Pat Sullivan, the Heisman Trophy winner. Here is a trophy symbolic of college football's greatest award, which was first won in 1935 by Jay Berwanger of the University of Chicago. This year's voting with Sullivan, number 1, Ed Marinaro, 2, Oklahoma's Greg Pruitt, 3rd, and Alabama's Johnny Musso, 4th. It must have been a great thrill for hometown product, number 7 on the right, Pat Sullivan, to get the cheers of everybody. 70,000 fans here, and of course a great introduction for number 22, an All-American halfback, an All-Academic, who will be honored by the National Football Hall of Fame on December 7th at the Waldorf Astoria, as will be Jack Mildren of the Oklahoma Sooners. And now we hope that this game will duplicate the one we did on Thursday, the Sooners and the powerful Nebraska Cornhuskers. And we hope both teams are watching, because the two opponents that they'll be playing in bowl games are right about to kick it off. Auburn will go against Oklahoma, and it'll be the Crimson Tide against Nebraska. Now, This is Auburn failing to field a kick. It'll be a touchback going into the end zone, and it's good. He covered that ball. James Owens of Auburn covered the ball, and it's good he did. It'll come out to the 20-yard line where it'll be a 1st and 10, and here you see that Beasley's number 88, the split end, Robbie Robinette, the tight end 86, with Sullivan, the quarterback 7, 23 Henley, 24 Lowry, and a great pass catcher with magnet-like hands, 89 Dick Schmalz. Harry Unger is actually starting at tailback on a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. The Heisman Trophy winner, he'll get the first snap after winning the coveted award. Sullivan. And a running play, junior tailback from Fayetteville, Alabama, number 22, Harry Unger. And the tackle was made by Chuck Strickland. The Alabama defense, including Rousey, Strickland, and Surlis as the linebackers.
Auburn will hope to establish their running attack to keep the Alabama defense balanced. Alabama is mentally playing pass all of the time. Auburn is able to sustain the ball a little with their running. It puts them in doubt.
Terry Beasley, number 88, to the near side of the field after a 1.5-yard gain. Let's call it 2nd and 9. In motion was Smalls, number 89. And the Alabama defense, look at the pursuit of the defenders in white and their fans. Robin Parkhouse 90, Jeff Beard 77, Terry Rowell 57, John Mitchell 97, Rousey, Strickland, Surlis, Williams, Wade, Norris, and Higginbottom, the Alabama defenders.
Let's watch linebacker Tom Surlis, number 42. It's a draw play. He reads it right from the start. He didn't drop back and is in on the tackle. We get a pass situation.
Lowry carried on the last play for 2 yards, 3rd down and 7 from the 23. Sullivan's first pass is complete to Tommy Lowry. Near a 1st down, Steve Williams, number 28, the cornerback, defensively in white, made the stop, and it's going to be 4th down and inches. No score in the game. If you just joined us, this is Alabama going back, anticipating a punt. Bobby McKinney, who averages about 16 yards on punt returns, a greater kickoff return artist, as David Beverly is back to punt, averaging about 40 yards a kick. He is kicking into a light breeze as the field lights are on here at Legion Field. A bad snap. And the ball is at the 19. Number 97 for Alabama, John Mitchell, was in there fast, the defensive right end.
When you are a center passing back on punts, it's an awful lot better to have it low than high. But this one came in so hot that he was unable to handle it. It bounced forward as Beverly tried to get to it. He had no chance to kick it, and Alabama is in business.
Just inside the 20-yard line, Terry Davis is the quarterback. Number 39, David Knapp, going in motion. And this is a new wrinkle on the wishbone. It now is an eye with a slot to the far side. Davis thrown for a loss. Bob Brown, a defensive end for the Auburn defense, number 92, was in there. As we look at the Alabama front line with David Bailey, number 84, the split end, Simmons, 85. Look at number 73, the right guard, 275 pounds, All-American John Hanna. Davis, Musso, LeBeau, and Bashelia. Knapp was in the backfield on the last play. As we look at the wishbone now, it's a 2nd down and 14. Johnny Musso, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama, who last year against Auburn in a losing effort gained 221 yards. Ben Sibley, of Blountesville, Alabama, number 78, made the play, and he carried it to about the 18-yard line, where it'll be a 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and 8. Wheeler, number 82, is in the Alabama lineup, split to the far side. David Bailey is a split into the near side from the wishbone set. There's all the beauty of the wishbone offense. Tommy Yearout, 69, in the blue jersey, made the tackle.
The thing that set it up, Chris, was the fake to the top of the screen. Normally, the defense will move very, very quickly with the quarterback and the fullback. That time, as you may have noticed, Davis and Bashelia both took a step to the left before they came back to the right. That puts the lead back out ahead, and gives you much more room in which to run the option.
On the wishbone with a split end to the far side, 1st and goal from the 7 for Alabama, going against the Auburn Tigers. 39, David Knapp, starting in place of LeBeau, carried on the play. As the ball is at the 6-yard line, a gain of 1, Mike Flynn made the tackle. Look at the Alabama runners. Musso averaging 5.8, Ellis Beck 5.3, LeBeau 6.6, Terry Davis 3.4.
And that's the beauty of the wishbone, all of the backs being threats, which makes it very hard to key on any one player.
David Bailey, 84, split to the near side. Now they split the left end. Double wing formation, 2nd and goal. Terry Davis, touchdown, Alabama. $19 yards in 5 plays after a bad snap and a fumble on it. Alabama leads 6-0, and the infinite variety of the wishbone, as it has done so often, confuses the defenders.
And once again, that little false step by the quarterback and the fullback away from the direction of the play had the Auburn defense moving one step with them as they were trying to react quickly, and when they came back the other way, it was set up.
Now Bill Davis will try for the point after. Number 10, Terry Davis, no relation, holding for the try. Kick up, and it's good. At 10:43 of the first quarter, we have a timeout at Legion Field in Birmingham with a score, Alabama 7, Auburn nothing.
This Christmas, Barbara got her boyfriend the Dutch Masters Showcase, a handsome redwood case with a sliding plastic top. And inside, there's a fine assortment of Dutch Masters, 34 great-tasting cigars in all. Barbara couldn't resist keeping the handsome wooden case for herself and giving only the cigars. The Dutch Masters Showcase. Please, give it cigars and all.
Daddy, I'm tired.
No vacancy.
Which one is our motel?
No vacancy. Sorry, sweetie.
I guess we should have made reservations.
We're all tired.
When you're traveling, come to Holiday Inn first. You'll never see a no vacancy sign. If we're full, we'll check nearby inns in seconds. We'll even call our competitors to try and find you a room. Stay with Holiday Inn, the most accommodating people in the world.
The Alabama cheerleaders delighted because their team went 19 yards in 5 plays to take a 7-0 lead. 19 yards, 5 plays. Now Henley, 23, awaits the kick by Gant, along with James Owens. Auburn in the blue jerseys. It is Henley coming out to the 15, finds a hole and charges ahead to about the 28-yard line, where Jerry Cash, number 46, made the tackle, and looking on to make sure was the kicker, number 8, Greg Gant. So Auburn now gets the ball for the second time at their own 27, 1st and 10. And don't forget, Pat Sullivan, as a freshman against the Alabama freshman, was trailing 27-0 to go ahead and lead his team to victory. And last year, Alabama led 17-0, with Auburn pulling it out 33-28. Sullivan, number 7. Beasley set away to the near side of the field. And it goes to Beasley, the All-American.
Auburn will operate basically from an I formation, but they do split the backs as they did on the last play. They also will move Beasley from position to position. Usually he's a split end, but he will become a slot back. Occasionally he may even be a tight end to hide him a little bit from the Alabama defense and to make it difficult for Williams, who would like to play him one-on-one when they're in a blitz situation, to find him and coordinate with the rest of the defense.
Unger 22, Lowry 24, the setbacks, who are wide apart now with Schmaltz. Split away, and there's the pass rush. 2nd and 4, and as Bear Bryant's game plan was set up, they would blow all 4 of them in there occasionally, but this was the strong safety man, David McMakin, number 18, that broke through.
Lowry was an eligible receiver, and he was around the ball, but I don't think he had any intention of catching the ball. The referee ruled correctly, however. If you throw at an eligible man and you get the ball away, it is an incomplete pass.
Was there a forward motion? Well,
he got the ball going forward that time.
That's right. The arm must go forward. Terry Beasley now to the far side. Sullivan throws. Beasley at midfield. Schmaltz, rather. Dick Schmaltz, number 89. And that gives you an idea of why he's had such a great career. Beasley to, or rather, Sullivan to Schmaltz, 89.
You can watch Schmaltz running that little wrinkle pattern here. That one was drilled in on target. Chuck Jordan says that Dick Schmaltz, a great receiver, 14.9 average, is such a hard man to cover because he is so deceptively slow.
Pat Sullivan has thrown 4 times, completing 3. Now from midfield, first down. Keeping it on the ground to the fullback, number 24, Tommy Lowry. 35 football players in the starting lineups of Southeastern Conference team earn classroom averages of A or B. 9 of them are playing in this game. Southeast Conference Commissioner Tonto Coleman congratulates all 35 of these outstanding student athletes. So after a 1-yard gain to the Alabama 49, Auburn is in their territory for the first time with a 2nd and 9. He has been dropped behind the line only 14 times in 3 years at Auburn. A bullet pulled in by Terry Beasley for a 4-yard gain to the 45, bringing up a 3rd and 5. Steve Higginbotham made the play.
Watch the timing in dual isolation. It's simply a quick raise up and throw. Schmaltz knows the ball is coming right now. Beasley gets rid of it as quickly as he can. It's low to the ground, and it's impossible to defend a pass like that. It also begins to set up that sort of hook and then go, the really flag pattern or the streak pattern, as some teams call it.
3rd and 5 now from the Alabama 45. The Crimson Tide leading 7-0. Here's the pass to number 88, Beasley. And they needed to get across the 40-yard line for the first down as Jeff Beard makes the tackle. And number 4 comes into the lineup, David Beverly, the punter. So Alabama has held Auburn 2nd time.
Let's look at it again. Dual isolation. Number 88, Beasley, who did catch the other pass. He was on the opposite side of the field. The ball again is perfectly on target to him. He tried to juke to get across the line enough to pick up the first down, but the Alabama defense closed too quickly.
Beverly back. McManus's snap is good this time. Beverly gets the punt off. Going deep, and you can see some of the shadows covering the field now. Late afternoon in Alabama. So it is a touchback, and Alabama will get the ball when play is resumed at its own 20-yard line with 7 minutes 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. ABC and the NCAA combine to bring you the thrills of college football. The score: Alabama 7, Auburn nothing.
How do you like my new Vega? Actually, this is a special display model. Opened up so you can see some of the unseen things that help to make Vega such an exceptional little car. The thick foam, for instance, that makes these buckets so incredibly comfortable. Big coil springs at every wheel to soften up the ride. An engine that's bigger than most little car engines, but every bit as stingy with a gallon of gas. Fade-resistant front disc brakes. Protective steel beams in both doors. A double-panel steel roof that adds to the strength and quiet of the car. Now you see them, now you don't. And because they don't show, Chevy could easily have left them out. But then Vega would have been just another little car. And who wants just another little car?
Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA.
In the houndstooth hat, a 1936 graduate of the University of Alabama, a man who has coached 209 victories at Kentucky, Texas A&M, and here. His team with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They lead 7-0. The halfway point of the first quarter. Terry Davis, the wishbone. Musso. Nearly enough for the first down, and there you saw why Johnny Musso was number 4 in the Heisman balloting. 2nd year that he's been an All-American, and he has been the motivating force that has made Alabama the surprise team of the year.
He's been bothered in the last few weeks with a very bad toe, sort of a sprained toe. They were worried about it today, but the way he ran in that last play, I think it feels awfully good.
Split end to the far side is 82 Wayne Wheeler on a 2nd down and 1. Joe LeBou, number 30 from Memphis, Tennessee, was called on to try the first down. It is one. The referee, Pete Williams, the umpire, Buddy Patty, the linesman, Robert Gaston, the field judge, Preston Watts, and the back judge is Johnny Grace. The electric clock operator is Richard Allen, and we 6:40 to go in the first quarter. Alabama leads 7-0. First and 10 now at their own 31. LeBeau goes to the far side, outside the split end. I formation in the backfield. Musso, and on top, with those see-through jerseys, which make the numbers most difficult to see, was number 93, Danny Sansbury.
The shift by Alabama from the broken backfield formation into the I is designed to put Mike Flynn, who's their strong side linebacker, as a linebacker playing between a split end and a tight tackle, a position he's not used to playing.
Two split ends, 2nd and 9 from their own 32, Alabama. And the quarterback, Terry Davis, number 10, carried on the play, just as Jack Mildren did on Thanksgiving Day in Oklahoma often, where Bob Brown, a very fine defensive end, number 92, made the stop. And let's see where the forward progress is marked here by the official. It's at the 36, a gain of 4, 3rd and 5, Bud.
And that little misdirection step continues to bother Auburn when they have not used the little head pop by the fullback and the quarterback. Their defense has been moving in the right direction and been much tougher.
Alabama leads 7-0, 5:24 to go in the first quarter. Here's a 3rd and 5. Musso. It appears that Alabama has the first down. Dave Beck was the first to stop Musso.
They've got the first down because Johnny Musso is one of the great running backs in college football. Let's take a look at it again. The ordinary back would not have made the first down here. It's a little counter step. You could see the fake of Bichelia there. Here comes the pitch to Musso. The Auburn secondary, Beck coming up. The linebacker's pursuing, and here he's hit, and watch him get 5 more yards. About 4.
Now from the 42, first down, Alabama leading 7-0. Little less than 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Terry Davis. Steve Bichelia, alternating today with Ellis Beck at the fullback position in the wishbone, was stopped by Bob Brown at the 43-yard line. And Tommy Yearout, the co-captain, also a native of Birmingham, was there. So it'll be a 2nd down and 9. You joined us. Auburn won the toss, failed to move the ball, and on a bad snap on the punt on 4th down, Alabama took over. They then went 19 yards, 5 plays to score. Davis taking it in. Bubba Sawyer is now in the lineup to the near side. LeBeau goes way outside the split end to the left. There's LeBeau. Boy, Bud, you add a few wrinkles to the wishbone, and not that it isn't effective. It's a scintillating offense. This is really something.
Well, everybody's dug in to stop the running from it. When you shift and go into an open passing formation, it's most difficult to adjust the defense, and that time they did not have anyone out in the flat. Auburn is one of the most mobile defenses in college football, but also one of the smallest. Their average weight line and linebackers you saw 205 pounds.
And now just inside the Auburn 40-yard line, 1st and 10 for Alabama. Look at LeBeau take that one. Getting inside the 35. Later today on ABC at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's the Kodak All-America Show featuring the top 24 players as selected by the American Football Coaches Association. That's later today, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bud Wilkinson and I enjoyed taping that show, and I think you'll enjoy the action that's in it. Now with the ball at the 33, it's a 2nd down and 3 for the Crimson Tide. Oh, a beautiful effort by Steve Bichelia. There is a penalty marker down for the first time in the ball game. Number 10 in the white jersey is Terry Davis. Johnny Musso is 22. It's the penalty against the Auburn Tigers. Alabama with 5 first downs, Auburn with 1. And here is Pete Williams, a very fine referee, that indicates it's offside against the Auburn Tigers, the War Eagles. And this has been a week. Speaking of Musso, he has a few fans around, doesn't he? They call him the Italian Stallion. First down now. 1st and 10 at about the 28-yard line. Alabama leads 7-0. Ooh, good defense on Johnny Musso. And the Auburn defenders were off the mark in a hurry. including 51 Mike Flynn, 39 John Hayworth.
Let's watch Murat again, number 69. She goes right between the offensive center and offensive guard. And a very fine defensive charge. They guessed right that time. Number 51, also Flynn, the linebacker, joining in the tackle.
And a little credit to Tommy Uraut, the co-captain, number 69, who plays the right defensive tackle position for Shug Jordan, head coach of the Auburn Tigers. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A thriller as we have a timeout in it at Legion Field in Birmingham. The score, Alabama 7, Auburn nothing.
This is Joel Aldred for General Motors. Did you know that the single largest cause of highway fatalities is drunk driving? That's why General Motors is experimenting with an accident avoidance device to help keep people from driving if drunk or drugged. It's called a physiological tester because it tests a driver's responses before he can start his car. The driver must match a set of figures which flash on and off. A driver with impaired responses usually can't do it, even though he gets 3 tries. But if his responses are normal, he can readily match the figures which appear and can then start his car. It's an experiment at present, but GM plans to provide 50 to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration for evaluation by the government. Please, don't drive if you're not in good shape. Everybody wants to do something about highway safety. General Motors is doing it.
At Legion Field, Alabama has turned out 71 total yards, Auburn 41, but a 19-yard drive in 5 plays got Alabama the touchdown. They lead 7-0. Now they have a 2nd and 9 between the 28 and 27 of Auburn. Sawyer and Bailey are set away from the line in the wishbone. Davis. Musso. Joe LeBou blocking for Musso on the play, but I love the wishbone.
Now those backs are in perfect position to block. There's LeBou just in the right corner of the screen going ahead of Musso. He knocks the corner man back down as he comes up. Davis turned up the field here, as you can see, and then pitched the ball. When you pitch it that late, there's almost always room to run downfield.
Back live, Bubba Sawyer goes to the left on a 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Davis, the quarterback for Alabama, number 10. Steve Bisceglia carrying for about 3 yards. And on the tackle, number 69, Tommy Uraut, along with Danny Spansprice, number 93. As we look at Musso, who has carried 6 times for 36 yards, the Alabama team is averaging 5.5 yards on each play. Now with the ball at the 11, it's a 2nd down and 8. Alabama leads 7-0. 1:11 to go, first quarter. Davis. Touchdown. Terry Davis has scored his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. 80 yards in 14 plays. And again, Bud, the variations of the wishbone.
It's the least blocks, Chris, that makes it so tough. Watch number 22, Johnny Musso. There's nobody left as Davis turns on the speed. Flynn was chasing him from the inside.
Bill Davis trying for the point after. And Alabama, 80 yards, 14 plays, controlling the ball and keeping it away from the Heisman Trophy winner, Pat Sullivan, and his favorite receiver, Terry Beasley. We have 58 seconds to go in the first quarter. A sellout crowd, a cloudless sky. It's a beautiful late afternoon for college football.
You mentioned, Chris, time of possession. Alabama is in better shape defensively against Sullivan and Beasley with the ball, and Auburn has had the ball only 5 minutes and 2 seconds thus far. As we look at the touchdown again, the little head fake the wrong way, and watch Flynn. You're trying to get to him, they all are, but Davis has got too much speed as Musso knocked down the corner man.
And now the pressure is on the Auburn Tigers. They have to come back because they trail 14-0. 58 seconds to go in the first quarter. Jimmy Owens is deep, along with Terry Henley. Here's the kick. And a good run back of the Alabama kick following their 2nd touchdown. And the ball is out to the 30-yard line, where Buddy Staggers, number 42, returned the kick. So it'll be Auburn with a 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. 52 seconds to go in the first quarter, 14-0, Alabama leading. Auburn in the blue jerseys with their burnt orange trim, led by quarterback Pat Sullivan, number 7, Beasley, 88, Schmaltz, 89. In the backfield, it's Lowry, 24, Unger, 22. Beasley and Schmaltz to this side of the field from the 30. Unger. A nice roll forward 5-yard gain by the tailback, Unger, number 22.
When the defense is really coming awfully hard, as Alabama is, to try to rush the passer and stop the direct runs, it does change the timing a little bit if you use a little of that misdirection, as Auburn did on the last play.
It's about 55 degrees at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Alabama leading 14-0, a 19-yard drive in 5 plays, Davis scoring. And the next time they got it, they went 80 yards in 14 plays to lead 14-0. Now it's 2nd and 5 for Auburn. The underdog, a slight underdog in this game, from the 35. A marker is down, and here comes Beasley on a reverse, and slips at the 31. Beasley merely was in motion early, I believe, on the play. If so and accepted, it'll be 5 yards. But right now we have the end of the first quarter, where the score is Alabama 14, Auburn nothing.
This is not an international sports event. It's a demonstration of Command Dry and Natural hair control. This player does not use Dry and Natural. His hair is letting go. His opponent uses Command Dry and Natural with the exclusive superfine mist that penetrates today's longer styles to control deeply, handsomely, all through the game. And to stay dry all through the game, Dry and Natural antiperspirant, because it doesn't matter if you win or lose, it's how you play the game.
What's happening? It's new Command Control Electric Action Football by Coleco. Look at that running back move. Reverses field. Action that depends on your skill to command every move. With Command Control, you have complete control of your running back and your defensive back. Now you can follow your strategy straight to the touchdown with Command Control Electric Action Football. Action at your command in the Coleco world of sports.
The NCAA proudly salutes its most illustrious affiliated member, the American Football Coaches Association, now celebrating its 15th anniversary. Formed to bring together the country's college football coaches for the common good and improvement of the game, the AFCA has far surpassed its early goals and has attracted a working membership of staggering prestige. For example, its roster of past presidents include the association's 3 surviving charter members, Tuss McGlary, Chick Meehan, and Dana Bible, and the likes of John Heisman, Bob Zupke, Bernie Bierman, Lou Little, Fritz Chrysler, Matty Bell, Lynn Waldorf, Don Farrow, Bud Wilkinson, Rip Engel, the current executive director Bill Murray, and many more. What do men like most about college football and coaching these young men? Western Kentucky's Jim Felix, or rather Jim Fikes, says, being among young players and fellow coaches who work, cry, laugh, sweat, moan, and groan together as a team. It keeps me thrilled to be with the young, the vital, the idealistic men, and see the gleam in their eyes brought about by a challenge. So we salute, Bud, all the American football coaches on their 50th anniversary. Great guys, and there are 2 fine ones here coaching the teams today. Shug Jordan of Auburn and Bear Bryant of Alabama. Alabama leading 14-0 the first play of the second quarter. Sullivan trying to find Terry Beasley. It is a reception.
Boy, I can't, no way you can say enough about this combination. Sullivan on the left, dropping back. He gets a fairly decent rush. Beasley just running the fly pattern. He hasn't looked for the ball, and the ball is in the air. He still hasn't looked. Now he's beginning to look. And watch him field this ball. Perfectly on target.
40 yards, ladies and gentlemen. 1st and 10 for Auburn at the Alabama 29. From the eye, it's Tommy Lowry, a senior.
Let's watch it again one more time. Pardon me, Chris, the long pass play. It's the great timing here that is interesting. If you'll watch Sullivan on the left and watch Beasley on the right now, watch when the ball is thrown. The ball is in the air right now. Beasley still hasn't looked. Then he looked back. He's looking over his inside, but the ball goes to his outside. He finds it, looking over the different shoulder.
Layoff on a 2nd down and 8 from the 27. Tommy Lowry again carrying on the play as the Alabama rushing defense is holding in there.
And the statistics of the first quarter show Alabama clearly in control, 101 total yards to 42. The time of possession, what they'd like to have it, 9 minutes and 2 seconds against 5:58, keeping the ball away from Sullivan and Beasley. And the big break, of course, being the bat snap from center on the punt formation that set Alabama up for their first touchdown.
Sullivan has thrown 7 times, completed 6. Here's his 8th attempt. A crossing pattern. Robinette was out there, along with Beasley. Robbie Robinette, the tight end, number 86, on a crossing pattern at the hash marks. And there was traffic as Lanny Norris was one of the deep defenders, joined by Steve Higginbottom, who leads the Southeastern Conference with 7 interceptions. 4th down and 8 yards at the Alabama 27. The final score, Tennessee 19, Vanderbilt 7, and next Saturday it'll be undefeated Penn State and Tennessee here on ABC. A loose ball. And on 4th down, the 2nd Auburn bobble. Terry Rowell, number 57 of Heidelberg, Mississippi, covered the loose ball, and Sullivan comes to the sideline.
Relentless pressure by Alabama on both offense and defense.
They lead 14-0. Now they have the ball at their own 28-yard line. 13 minutes, 26 seconds to go in the first half. Terry Davis from the wishbone. Ellis Beck, number 35, carried, and you saw there was a little bit of a bobble, and let's see what the official says. Auburn gets it back. You saw it right from the start. Davis had trouble putting it in the belly of Beck. Johnny Simmons, number 27 in blue, recovered the fumble at the 31, so Auburn has it. What an exciting afternoon.
When you stop the drive, as Alabama did after that long pass, you take a deep breath when you're coaching, and then on first down, bingo, the fumble, and then your heart's bumping again.
Well, of course, Pat Sullivan got a 1-play rest, and he's glad to be back out there because he was involved in the other fumble that gave the ball to Alabama. Now from the 31, coming to the near side, it is Beasley. Schmaltz is opposite. Setbacks in the backfield. A pass with Unger hitting Beasley. And Auburn strikes back Terry Beasley, the All-American, his 12th touchdown of the year, and it was a first pass thrown by Harry Unger for the Auburn Tigers.
Let's watch it again. This brings back memories to me of the old split T. Quarterback optioning back to the tailback Unger. You can see Beasley faking the block, then turning it on downfield. Unger dropping it in there for the touchdown.
All right, it'll be Gardner Jett trying for the point after. He's only missed 2 this year. The kick is up, and it's good. 31 yards, 1 play. Unger to Beasley. This is NCAA college football, and this is the showcase for it. The timeout to score, 14-7. snap, Pat Sullivan fumbled the ball to be recovered by Alabama, and on the very next play, Alabama fumbled. And then, in dramatic suddenness, tailback Harry Unger hit Terry Beasley, a 31-yard touchdown pass. It's 14-7 Alabama, and Auburn kicks off. Roger Pruitt kicking off. Back deep for the Crimson Tide, Bobby McKinney, who is averaging about 27 yards and one of the nation's leaders on kick returns, brings it out. Good field position for the Crimson Tide just beyond the 32.
Let's watch the touchdown pass again. It brings back memories to me of Dick Kazmaier, the other great halfbacks who threw on the run. There's the pitch, and I can see Billy Vessels catching some of these, as Unger does, and then drilling it down the field to Beasley. It's a great play.
But that doesn't remind you of all of Tommy McDonald, does it?
Yes,
It's got
it does.
to. Number 32, Alabama. Terry Davis, the quarterback, stopped by Bob Brown. You know, next Saturday on ABC, NCAA college football. Undefeated Penn State. Bowl-bound, as is Tennessee. A victory today. The game will originate in Knoxville, Tennessee, next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern Time. The ball at the 38. It's a second down and 4 for Alabama. Bashelia, Musso, and LeBou. Musso dives for an extra yard.
The double fake, the inside belly play is a great change of pace from the triple option of the wishbone. The defense tends to try to be a little high and look to read those options, and as they raise up, they're very vulnerable to the powerful blocking, the whole line kicking out, and the fullback and the halfback blocking ahead of the ball carrier.
Third down and 1. Terry Davis of Alabama has thrown one. He's completed it for 21 yards. Third and 1 from his own 41. But they give it to the bread and butter man, Johnny Musso. Bill Luca in on the tackle for the Auburn defense, and this will be close. Perhaps the referee, Pete Williams, will call for a measurement.
Believe me, it's going to be close.
You know, as we look at the wishbone of Coach Bear Bryant in Alabama, it took a lot of courage to install it, throwing away everything else, bringing it in at Alabama this year after a long conference with Darrell Royal at Texas, who was the innovator of the wishbone, and Alabama's been the surprise team.
Well, when you look at the record of Alabama, Chris, the record of Texas, the record of Oklahoma, the record of New Mexico, the teams that are using the wishbone, you have to feel that there's something about this pattern of attack that is moving the ball against the normal defenses being played.
Leading 14-7 with 11:32 to go in the first half. Alabama comes out from the wishbone. The ends are tight. Fourth down. And Terry Davis with good blocking from Jimmy Grammer, Jimmy Rosser, and Big John Hanna, number 74. First down.
You can say that's a daring tactical decision at this stage in the game not to punt, but it's also based on respect for Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Beasley. Don't let them have the ball if you can avoid it.
Terry Davis, an unheralded quarterback, has 7 carries, 35 yards, 2 touchdowns for Alabama. Split into the far side. First and 10 from the 44. Wayne Wheeler is over there. And now they split it back. Joe LeBou to the near side. And an eye behind Davis. Johnny Musso churning up to about the 49. Auburn's defender, including Bill Luca from Memphis, Tennessee, and Ben Sibley. Play stopped at the 48, second down and 6. Terry Davis has scored both Alabama touchdowns, a 6-yard run, and then a 11-yard run, and Auburn came back. Unger, a tailback, hitting Beasley for the touchdown. Haley and Wheeler set away. Davis pitching to Musso, one-on-one. There was some move. Musso covered one-on-one, and that was Dave Beck that flipped him over.
It's one of the hardest plays in football. You get a great back like Musso, headed upfield with room to break either way, and one man between him and the goal line. The percentages are with the runner, but Beck that time was equal to the challenge.
Alabama, it's the last touchdown drive, went 80 yards in 14 plays. And now they're starting another drive, controlling the ball, keeping it away from Auburn. On the 43, first down. Whoops. That was Buddy Brown, number 65, a sophomore from Tallahassee, Florida, that shot out there a little early. Back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. That was a procedure call as indicated by the referee, so the ball comes back to the 48, Bud.
And that changes the odds considerably for the offense. It's quite simple to, under normal circumstances, hold them to around 4.5 yards a try, but it's very difficult to hold them to that 3.5. Those are the tight margins.
14-7. Again, a wide formation with the I backfield for Alabama. And Musso, number 22, getting back to the 46-yard line. Sansbury on the tackle for Auburn.
The balance to what I just said, Chris, though, is that when the normal defense begins to think it's long yardage, they begin to think pass, and that really opens it up for the read of the triple option on the wishbone.
Alabama's rushed for 328 yards per game. They now have 109 on 2nd and 13 from the 46 of Auburn. Wayne Wheeler from Orlando, Florida, number 82. And it was a nice maneuver, Bud, by the quarterback, Terry Davis.
That's the same little juke step that he's taken to take off the quick movement of the defensive linebackers, particularly in the secondary, that likes to roll with the first movement of the quarterback and the fullback. That time he gave it a complete spin. It's very hard to make that 360 and find the receiver.
Well, it's 3rd down and a little more than 2. You will recall they had a 1st and 15, a 2nd and 13, now 3rd and 2. Whoops. Recovered, Auburn. Danny Sansbury, number 93, was the man to get there at the 42, recovering the loose ball, and Bud errors are figuring in now. And Auburn has an opportunity to even it up, but they'll have to work from their 42. College football. What better way to spend an autumn evening with timeout? The score, Alabama 14, Auburn 7.
What kind of tires can drive down a snow-covered mountain? Dig in and stop fast on hard-packed snow. Or with studs even stop on glare ice. The answer? Sears Dynaglass ice and snow tires with the deep traction groove down the center. They go in snow, stop in snow, stop on ice. Dynaglass ice and snow tires for front and rear wheels. Only at Sears.
Neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays the diehard from the swift completion of its appointed starts. The Sears Die-Hard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Sold only at Sears.
On the exchange of the ball, it can be very elusive.
This is the problem, Chris, with a high-risk offense where you're handling the ball along the line of scrimmage. If anything goes wrong, the defense is as close to it as you are, and you're closing on it. The recovery by Auburn's seismic.
And here they go, 1st and 10 from their own 42. Pat Sullivan, number 7. Giving it to Unger. He is the young man that threw a 31-yard touchdown pass on a similar move to Terry Beasley as we look at Johnny Musso, number 22, playing in his hometown of Birmingham. Tom Sirles on the tackle.
Offense, Chris, Alabama averaging 6.2 yards a play, Auburn 5.8, but Alabama getting most of theirs on their passing attack, and Auburn averaging only 1.25 yards per try with their running attack.
Terry Henley, number 23, is in the lineup at tailback, replacing Unger. Split away as Sullivan wants to throw. It's knocked down. Tom Sirles, number 42, and this was one of the points that Bear Bryant made to Bud and me last night, that he wanted his linemen to come in and put their arms high in the air, and he was wishing for much taller linemen, so it'd be harder for a quarterback to get it off.
If you've got to throw over the lineman, unless you're an awfully tall quarterback, you have to arch the ball a little bit. That gives the secondary a little more time to get under the ball, to move to it. When you can drill it straight, the ball is not in the air nearly as long.
But Sullivan has beautiful form, however, doesn't he? He gets that ball up high, and he's going to try it right here on 3rd and 9. nearly intercepted. Coming in there fast is number 49, Steve Higginbotham, the Southeastern Conference leading interceptor. Sullivan intended for Schmalz, number 89. So, Auburn, Sullivan, Beasley, and Schmalz coming to the sideline, 4th down and 9.
And Chris, we ought to make the point now that that might be a very critical series of downs as you recap this game. Auburn appeared to have the momentum going for them, and Alabama stopped them.
David Beverly to punt. McManus centering it. Bobby McKinney is back deep for Alabama. Beverly's punt is up. Honey coming down at the 4. McKinney hemmed in. Great kick coverage. You don't see it that often when the ball goes so far. A 52-yard punt, only a 4-yard return, and the snapper, McManus, made the tackle. Alabama gets the ball deep in their own territory at the 8. The NCAA congratulates Southeastern Conference powers, Auburn and Alabama, on their bowl bids. Auburn will be making its 4th consecutive bowl appearance under Coach Shug Jordan. Alabama its 13th straight under Coach Paul Bear Bryant.
That kick was so long, Chris, that I think McKinney lost track of where he was on the field. Almost all coaches make it a point to not handle the ball inside the 10, but Beverly's kick was so long he had to drop back and lost track of where he was.
Right, 7.5 minutes to go. First half, 14-7. Alabama leading. They have the ball from the 8. First down, Davis. Musso. Musso trying to find that little hole and getting an extra step as we look at Shug Jordan, graduate of Auburn in 1932, a delightful man and a great leader of young men.
That's the first time that Auburn has really done a good job against that counter step option. That should mean that Alabama will be able to go ahead with the straight a little better.
Terry Beasley was shaken up on that last play. It's a 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Beasley wasn't shaken up on the last play. My correction. He was shaken up earlier and was headed toward the locker room and is coming across the right end zone limping. Bill Luca made the tackle on Johnny Musso at the, well, it's near the 14, so it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Alabama's leading 14-7, 6:34 to go in the first half. Beasley continues to limp, being helped by 2 men. There he is, number 88. Last year he was injured in the Alabama game. Davis. Musso. Mike Flynn was the first man in there.
Great play in the corner by Flynn and Beck.
Number 19, Beck, along with number 93, Sansbury. So with the ball at the 14, it'll be a 4th down and 4, and as we get a closer look at Terry Beasley from Montgomery, he caught the touchdown pass, the only one for Auburn thus far. First punt by Alabama. Kicking it will be Greg Gant, number 8. He's right near the 5. Here's the kick. .29 yards on the kick, and Auburn is set up beautifully at the Alabama 42. Johnny Simmons getting the ball. Timeout at Legion Field in Birmingham. Alabama 14, Auburn 7.
Can soprano Nancy Shade shatter a glass? We're amplifying her voice as she tries. She did it, and so can we. We've just recorded Miss Shade on Memorex cassette recording tape. Memorex tape records and plays back with such precision, it captures the exact pitch that shattered glass. Listen. Memorex. Reproduction so true, it can shatter glass.
We've learned that many people are giving our wonderful Dutch Master cigars, but keeping our equally wonderful gift packages. They give the 25 presidents, but keep this elegant and useful opaline jar. They give the 50 perfectos, but keep this handsome bucket. They keep this authentic redwood showcase. That's not fair. If you don't receive Dutch Masters in one of these desirable holiday packages, look the giver right in the eye and say, "Okay, Harriet, where is it?"
There's an All-American athlete, Terry Beasley, number 88. In one of our first games of the year against Tennessee, he was shaken up, came back to help come from behind and win 10-9. 88 to the near side, Beasley. 1st and 10 for Auburn from the Alabama 43. In the slot is Schmalz. Pat Sullivan hands off to Harry Unger, who threw the touchdown pass earlier to Beasley to make it 14-7, and that's the score now. Strickland and Parkhouse on the tackle as we look at head coach Paul Bear Bryant.
That double wide slot that Auburn used on that play makes it very difficult to double cover Beasley and still retain enough people inside for the run. Alabama only had 2 men out there, so it was single coverage as they used the same formation again.
Schmaltz and Beasley set away from the line. Sullivan being chased. Nearly intercepted by Steve Higginbotham. Oh, he is a ball hawk. Putting the rush and chasing Pat Sullivan was Lanny Norris. Let's pause 5 seconds for local station identification.
Seeing the single coverage, Chris, Beasley came right back with the rollout pass at the single coverage, but the rush did not give Sullivan time enough to get set. Also good coverage by Alabama.
4:55 to go in the first half. Alabama is leading Auburn 14-7. They led 14-0. Auburn came back. Here's Sullivan, 3rd and 5. Beautifully thrown. Oh! Intended for 23, Terry Henley. Higginbotham covering on the play. That was a very soft pass. And there you see Schmaltz coming to the near sideline as it brings up a 4th down and 5. There's a slight following wind, but there's going to be a punt. David Beverly, and Alabama now is sending 1 man deep. Here comes the snap for the Auburn punt as we look at Beverly. He tried to find the sideline before it went too far. To no avail, so it'll be Alabama's ball at their own 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports at 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central Time, the International Grand Prix Motorcycle Championship from Elsinore, California. The World Water Skiing Championships from Spain. That's next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
And the Alabama defense, Chris, continuing to play beautifully, holding the Auburn rushing to 1.5 yards a try, and that makes it much easier to play pass.
Terry Davis, who scored both Alabama touchdowns, calling signals. And keeping the ball. The Rover man, Mike Neal, number 40, one of the tacklers. There was, however, a 3-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. Incidentally, the $1 Million Band of Alabama will be appearing at halftime, and the War Eagle Band. And let me tell you, there's a little of everything for all of you. For the men, there are some Southern honeys, Southern bells, so hang around. 2nd and 7. 10, Terry Davis, bringing it out to the 29 as Bob Brown and Tommy Yearout met them there, and you see he failed by a little over a yard, and now he has a 3rd down and in lineup for Bear Bryant, number 85, Jim Simmons.
Let's watch number 92 here, Chris, the end. He's blocked down here by Bichelia. Fine block by Bichelia, but this is the mark of a great football player. 2nd effort, chasing, making the tackle, or being in on the tackle.
Back live, 3rd and 1 from the 29. Wishbone, the tight ends. That was Joe LeBeau trying for the 1st down on the Auburn defense as dumped Alabama, Bill Luco. Let's give him a pat on the back, number 52.
And on those short yardage situations, if you want to take the gamble of what the play is going to be, you can stop any one play. Auburn took the gamble that it was going to be the inside belly play, and they were right.
Well, once today, Alabama went for it on 4th down, but they're too deep in their own territory at the 29. So in the kick is Gant from Birmingham, Alabama, number 8. Johnny Simmons is deep around his own 43. 14-7, 2:57 to go in the first half. Alabama scored first, in fact twice, and then Auburn came back. Harry Unger, the tailback, throwing a 31-yard touchdown pass to Terry Beasley. Little conference down on the field. There's a flag, and you see that we have the signal. The call with that was a signal for a loss of a down.
I really don't know, Chris.
I don't know
what happened in the play.
No, he has. Right. Now that we look at the back of Pete Williams, the hands are on the top of his head, so that means a substitution infraction. And so, as a result, Alabama keeps the ball, Bud.
Big play.
They sent in 3 players instead of 2, we've just been informed. So Alabama has new life. That is Joe LeBeau. Davis throwing the pass. Mike Neal making the tackle.
It's getting very technical, Chris. If Auburn had counted up quickly and gotten that third man off the field before the snap, you're playing legally. Many times someone does get confused and gets out on the field, recognizing that he's not supposed to be in the game. He does drop back, and you're seeing a little conversation now with the Auburn bench over there, wondering of the Alabama bench.
Tommy Yearout, number 69, the Auburn co-captain. Incidentally, Davis has thrown 3 times, completing 3 for 38 yards. Bring it into the hash mark now for the measurement. Very close to a first down. And a substitution infraction. Alabama faced with a 4th, but as a result of the penalty, kept the ball. Now the clock is running by that motion. With the ball at the 44, it's second down and less than a yard. David Bailey is set to the far side. To this side is Jim Simmons. Steve Bisceglia, first down at the Auburn 41.
They're waiting for the second man, as they have been on the inside belly play and ignoring the first fake. The thing to do is to come back, as Alabama did, and give the ball to the first man, who is a blocker on the belly play, where he is the first faker normally, and the ball comes to the trailing halfback.
Alabama controlling the ball with 9 first downs. Auburn has 3. Alabama leads 14-7 from the 41 of Auburn. First down. Davis. Ooh, he lost his footing. In fast, number 78. Sively, joined by Yearout, number 69, and there's a 5-yard loss back to the 46, Bud.
Little reverse action there by Alabama. Auburn, however, not taking the first fake and being in position to keep the quarterback from getting outside.
Time running out in the first half, coming up to the 1-minute mark. LeBeau set to the near side along with Wayne Wheeler, the split end. LeBeau is a flanker outside. 2nd and 15. A left-handed pass by Wayne Wheeler. Wheeler make it Musso. Johnny Musso threw that pass left-handed. It's his 2nd pass of the year and his 2nd completion. Wayne Wheeler was on the other end of the Musso pass.
This is Wheeler breaking downfield. Davis had pitched the ball back to Musso, and this is the same type of play that Auburn scored on when Unger hit Beasley. You don't see it too often where the quarterback laterals the ball back to a halfback, and the halfback does the throw.
Alabama passing 4 for 4. Now from the 30 of Auburn. 1st and 10. 55 seconds left in the first half. Wheeler is all alone, but Davis couldn't get it to him. David Bailey, number 84, who caught 111 passes as a sophomore and junior, but isn't thrown to as much because of the wishbone offense, caught that one.
Let's watch Bailey here. The inside fake and then the rollout, and he simply turns it on as Davis completes his 4th successive pass.
49 yards, 4 for 4 from the 18. Time running out. 34 seconds to go in the half. Alabama leading 14-7. LeBeau. Those are the Crimson Tide folks who go to school at Tuscaloosa. And now, huddling, no huddle, and a quick pass, hoping to stop the clock with 12 seconds left on it. We're at a 2nd down and approximately 3. Pass intended for Wayne Wheeler, number 82.
I was a little surprised they didn't take the timeout before that snap, Chris. There are 12 seconds left now when Alabama took the timeout. Neither team had taken one. Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining.
You just joined us. Getting the ball for the first time, Alabama went 19 yards in 5 plays as a result of a bad punt snap to take the lead 7-0. Then following the second Auburn punt, Alabama went 80 yards in 14 plays to lead 14-0. And in the second quarter, an exchange of fumbles. And on the first play, Auburn's Unger hit Terry Beasley to make it 14-7. Tomorrow and every Sunday throughout the remainder of the NCAA college football season at 12 noon, 11 Central Time, ABC Sports will feature College Football 1971 with Bill Fleming as your host. Tomorrow, you'll see these highlights: Oklahoma, Nebraska, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, and Texas. College Football 1971 tomorrow on ABC.
And that 4 for 5, his only incomplete is when he just threw the ball out of bounds in the last play to kill the clock. So in my book, Chris Davis is still 4 for 4.
All right, there is Coach Paul Bear Bryant talking to Terry Davis. Davis from Bogalusa, Louisiana. Nearly choked on that one. We enjoyed being in Louisiana, though, Bud. Wasn't that a great game with LSU and Notre Dame, and then following it up with Oklahoma, Nebraska, and now this Southeastern Conference struggle. 2 undefeated teams. It's a third down. That was Musso ahead of Davis as Johnny Simmons came through.
Dave Beck was with Musso all the way. He just never did give him 1 inch of room. Davis obviously wanting to get the ball to him, but Beck right on top of him.
Well, Alabama took its last time out, and immediately coming into the lineup was Bill Davis, who is 12 of 14 on field goals. He's a sophomore from Columbus, Georgia.
And I called it wrong, Chris. I looked at the scoreboard. They said Alabama had 2 remaining, and I had it marked 1. I thought they were right.
Well, later today, you'll see the 24 players as selected by the American Football Coaches Association on ABC on the Kodak All-America show. Bud and I, having done it, we'd recommend it, wouldn't we, Bud? Because there's great action footage. You hear from some of the All-Americans, which include Musso, Beasley, Sullivan, Hanna, these gentlemen in this game that you're watching right now. So, here comes the field goal with Davis holding on a sharp angle from the 21 plus the 10 of the end zone, 31 yards. Alabama trying. Kick is up. Kick is no good. And on the clock, a 0-0 formation, which means that's it for the first half. But don't forget the Southern Bells of both the University of Alabama and the Auburn University War Eagle Band. You'll see them, and I think you'll enjoy them here from Birmingham. Yes, a great halftime of entertainment coming up. The score at Legion Field in Alabama is Crimson Tide 14, the Tigers 7.
There's a lot to see in this country, and Chevrolet is building you a better way to see it. 1972 Camaro, the car that combines the roadability of a sports car with the practicality of a backseat. That's right, seats for 4, and the kind of roadability that Chevrolet's been building into Corvette for 19 years. Chevrolet wants your 72 Camaro to be the best car you ever owned.
America, there's so much to see, and Chevrolet's building a better way to see the USA.
Chevrolet, building a better way to see the USA.
The story of Brian Piccolo and Gale Sayers, Tuesday night on the Movie of the Week.
As you can see, Alabama's leading Auburn 14-7 in the showdown battle for the Southeastern Conference. This is Bill Fleming, and in just a moment we'll be taking a look at both of these bands here today. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the University of Alabama. This fall, the University of Alabama began its 141st year of service to the people of Alabama. The university has grown from a handful of students and professors in 1831 to a sprawling campus of 780 acres with an enrollment in excess of 13,000 students. Last year, the University of Alabama graduated more than 60% of all the doctorates awarded in Alabama and 30% of all college degrees awarded in the state. At a time when many universities are losing their research funds, particularly from government sources, the University of Alabama is increasing its research contracts and grants. University scientists and researchers are giving special attention to problems of the environment and the education and development of preschool children. This, then, is Alabama, truly one of the finer institutes of higher education in the entire South. And right now you're looking at the $1 Million Band of Alabama, directed by Dr. James Ferguson. Today the theme of halftime is music of the Civil War. Drum major, Rod Riley. Rally round the flag is what we're hearing right now, and then they go into a banjo formation and ring, ring the banjo, featuring, incidentally, the Crimsonettes. Now we're going to see a formation of a coffee pot over a campfire and a choral version of Dixie. Now you can see the coffee pot over the campfire. And we'll have Dixie. We'll have the $1 Million Band of Alabama and the choral version of Dixie. In drill formation now, the $1 Million Band of the University of Alabama, and the selection battle music. As you can probably tell, this is a compilation, a medley of tunes from the Civil War era. And as you can see, the shield of the United States in formation on the gridiron, and the Battle Hymn of the Republic, played by the University of Alabama $1 Million Band, directed by James Ferguson. The Auburn, Alabama game is being brought to you by Texaco and the many thousands of Texaco retailers and distributors in all 50 states. Trust Texaco to have the right gasoline for your car. By Trans World Airlines. By Sears Tire and Auto Centers, where you'll find die-hard batteries and a complete line of quality tires. And by General Motors and the people who make Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, Opel, and GMC trucks. The cars and trucks with a GM mark of excellence. The changing architectural skyline of Auburn University reflects a dynamic and complex institution where programs of instruction, research, and extension are pertinent to the needs of a changing society. Auburn University has 60 main campus buildings and 23 resident halls on 1,800 sprawling tree-shaded acres. Another 16,000 acres are used for agricultural research. At Auburn, educational opportunities provide a balance between the liberal arts and specialization for over 14,000 students. The ultimate aim is to develop graduates whose knowledge, intellectual discipline, and awareness of the morality of individual action will be manifest in service to their fellow men. And now the Auburn University band will be coming out onto the field. You can see them poised in the end zone under the field direction of Drum Major David Allen. And this is one of the lovely Auburn majorettes, and you'll see at least a dozen this afternoon. Incidentally, in case you joined us late, Alabama leading in the football game 14-7 here at halftime. The theme of Auburn University today will be popular music of 1971. And you'll see the band move down the field, and they will form AU, Auburn University, and War Eagle. And in case you'd like to know the names of the lovely majorettes, Debbie Strain and Sissy Wilson, Rhonda Culberson and Belinda Bird, Deborah Benson and Debbie Owen, Kathy Wetzel and Trish McPherson, and finally Ann Long and Carol Fuller. And to the strains of War Eagle, the Auburn band marching downfield. There you see from above the interlocked AU for Auburn University in this 220-member band. Dr. Bill Walls, the director of the band, today has selected some great tunes of 1971 as the band is in concert formation now. And we're listening to Get It On. Those are little frisbees that they're holding in their hands. As the band now is in formation, we'll hear from the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Redemption. And this is just really a little bit to whet your appetite about seeing the Sugar Bowl here on New Year's Day on ABC. Auburn, of course, playing Oklahoma, and all the lovely young ladies and the band's members will be in New Orleans for that game. We certainly hope you'll join us. Right now, back to halftime here between Auburn and Alabama, and Redemption. Now, from above, you'll see the sunburst of this formation, and the music is One Fine Morning. And now the Auburn University will have Glory Fanfare and then Glory to Old Auburn as they spell out the large A for Auburn on the gridiron, the concluding number in their halftime show. And War Eagles. And both teams, there's the Crimson Tide of Alabama coming out onto the field here to begin the second half of play. And on this sideline, you see the Auburn Tigers. So the halftime and music are over. Coming up next.
Auburn's kicking off as we start the second half of this Alabama-Auburn game. Steve Williams gets it for Bama at the 2-yard line. And the Tigers stop him quickly. It's 1st and 10 at the 16. The wishbone comes rolling out. Bisceglia, the first option. He gets 4 to the 20. Once again, it's Bisceglia on 2nd down. Welch and Yearout stop him at the 22. 3rd and 4 now. The option goes right. Davis with the pitch to Musso. LeBoux springs him with a great block. Johnny gets 6 yards. 1st down at the 28. LeBeau gets the ball from there behind Hannah, Brown, and Bailey. Joe pops through for 7 yards to the 35. Bishelia tries the middle. Not much there. He gets 2. It's 3rd and 1 at the 37. So Davis just lines up, takes the snap, sneaks in behind Hannah. First down, tie. Now Bama's going up top for the first time this half. Davis rolling, looking to LeBeau. Joe slides upfield for 7 yards. Bama's at the 45. Back to the middle now. Musso gets 2 yards to make it 3rd and 1 one more time. This time it's Musso going behind Hannah and Brown, and he has a first down at the Auburn 49. Davis brings the option this way. LeBeau on the pitch. He manages only a couple of yards. The quarterback has to make the decisions in the wishbone. This time, Davis decides to go right, moves across the line, tosses to Musso. He slides to the outside, picks up 6 yards in the play to the 43. After a 5-yard penalty, 3rd and 7. Davis wants to hit Bailey on the sideline. It's incomplete, bringing up 4th down. Gant comes in to punt it away for Bama, and look at this perfect kick. LeBeau finally downs it at the Auburn 1-yard line. The Tigers begin what turns out to be their only drive of the 3rd quarter. 99 yards in the end zone. Sullivan quickly to Beasley. Higginbotham stops him at the 6. On 2nd down, Sully wants to hit Beasley again, but Parkhouse bats it down for the tie. 3rd and 5. It's complete to Robinette. Good for 7 yards and a first down at the 13. Now Auburn's back on the ground. Lowry tries to run it at right guard. Parkhouse is there. No gain. In the face of that kind of defense, Sullivan has to throw it again. This time to Beasley right over the middle. Rousey hits him, but it's good for 7 yards. On 3rd and 3, Sullivan and Beasley again. This time only 5 yards, but it's a first down at the 25. Sullivan gives it to Unger. Rousey right there to stop him. Play picks up 3. 2nd down, Sullivan again to pass. This time, Beard gets his paws up in the air, knocks it down. 3rd and 7. Sullivan hits Beasley on the near side, hoping Terry Speed will get a first down, but Strickland fights off a blocker, makes the big play for Bama. On 4th down, Beverly's on to punt. McKinney back to receive for the Tide. And Bobby makes the fair catch back at his own 22-yard line. Just under 4 minutes left of the 3rd quarter, and we get a chance to see why Johnny Musso's an All-American. He takes the pitch, gets a nice block from Beck, then sore toe and all, Johnny weaves his way upfield, 18 yards on the play. He's up to 95 yards in the afternoon, and Bama has a first down at the 40. Davis on the snap. He and fullback Beck collide. No gain on the play. 2nd down, Davis heads to the far side. Pitches to Musso, but the Tigers force him out of bounds at the 44. 3rd and 8. Davis drops back to throw. He's looking. Finds David Knapp in Auburn territory. It's complete. Good for 16 yards and a first down at the Tiger 42. Methodically, Bama's marching downfield. Davis keeps himself for 3 yards to the 39. On 2nd down, Grammer and Hannah open the hole. Knapp squirts through for 3 yards. It's 3rd and 3. Musso bangs ahead for 2. He's now over 100, but he's a yard short of the first down. Bama's going for it. Where do you go? How about Musso behind Hannah and Brown? It's 1st and 10 at the Auburn 29. We're down to the final play of the 3rd quarter. Davis keeps it himself, goes it right in for a couple of yards. Heading to the 4th quarter, still very much a ball game. It's Alabama 14 Auburn 7. In this Alabama-Auburn game from 1971, we're looking at one of the greatest offensive lines ever to play in Tuscaloosa, John. There was John Hanna, who's recognized throughout time, I think, as the epitome of an offensive tackle.
True.
Buddy Brown, then the Jimmies, Grammer, Rosser, Croft, and Simmons. Pretty good group.
Well, the ones that I'd like to make note of was Jim Croft, who was a millionaire's son from, I think, Delaware.
That's right.
And came down to school at Alabama because of Coach Bryant, I think. He ended up at center. He talked about having, I think he was a linebacker for a while, but when he ended up as center, the pivotal spot, and then on the right side was John Hanna. On the left side was Buddy Bearcat Brown, who was so tough he probably ate nails for breakfast, I think. But anyway, that trio on that first option, when the ball came to Davis, he was just guided by what those people did, and it was just an awesome thing to watch that whole year long until Nebraska.
Well, yeah, that may have changed things all around, but Hanna was the one that, seriously, the NFL, I think, even considers him the outstanding offensive tackle of all time.
Sports Illustrated had a cover story on John after his years with the Patriots and said he's the finest offensive lineman of all time.
Well, let's look at those. The final 15 minutes coming up next.
Number 73.
That's right, 73. We'll have the final 15 minutes next on Bama's Greatest. A great defense. Jeff Rousey, Robin Parkhouse, John Mitchell, and the three Steves that I always thought it was ironic. There were three Steves in the secondary: Higginbotham, Williams, and Wade. Not a bad crew.
That's right, three Steves. I hadn't really realized that. That was a wonderful defense, and I'm sure that Coach Donahue then, Tom, about all he had to say was Heisman and fire that defense up. And they did play a great game against a great offensive Auburn team, because really they scored, I believe, after an Alabama turnover.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So that was the only touchdown that they got. So you talk about your defenses, they really reached certain heights that day, for sure.
And Ken Donahue, that's a name that Alabama fans will always remember, because he's really the architect of all those great defenses, wasn't he?
Well, Ken certainly deserves. He played at Tennessee, believe it or not. But for some reason, he and Coach Bryant just G'd and hawed perfectly. Well, I wouldn't say perfectly, because I think several times they said Coach Bryant fired Ken Donahue a couple of times during one of those games. But Ken Donahue was a defensive-minded strategist that did very well after he left Alabama and went back to Tennessee also. But Ken, back in the 70s, that year, the years that we won over 100 games, Donahue had a great deal to do with it.
Well, Donahue's defense is about to make some big plays in the fourth quarter. Our score as we go into the fourth: Bama 14, Auburn 7. Fourth quarter doesn't start well for the Tide with the ball on Auburn's 27. Beck goes off left tackle for a yard, but the Tide's call for clipping. It's back to the 42, second and 23. So Davis calls on Musso for a big gainer. The Italian stallion responds with this great run, weaving in and out of defenders, picking up a block here and there, 12 yards in all, but Bama still needs 11 for a first down. On third down, it's the option coming this way again. Musso with the ball, he picks up 6, but it's 4th and 5 at the Auburn 24. Bill Davis comes in for a 41-yard field goal attempt. Terry brings the high snap down. Bill kicks it away. It's good, and Bama's now ahead 17-7. 13:03 left in the game, and it's getting dark here at Legion Field. Here's the kickoff. Gant booming it for the Tide right through the end zone. Auburn takes over at the 20, trailing by 10 points. Time for that great Bama defense to make some plays, and here comes one on first down. Sullivan drops back to pass, fires it over the middle. Chuck Strickland picks it off for the Tide. He rambles all the way to the Auburn 7-yard line. Players, coaches, and fans are ready to celebrate, because the Tide's up by 10 and ready to add to the lead. Five-yard penalty on first down stops the cheers for a moment. Ball back at the 12. Now, you've seen this play before. Davis, the pitch to Musso. Look at the blocks downfield. Johnny's at the 5-yard line and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama.
Let me tell you, the roar is deafening as Musso and his teammates are jumping up and down, now ahead of Auburn by 16. Bill Davis in to convert the extra point. With 12:45 to go in the game, the undefeated Crimson Tide is on top, 24-7. Once again, Gantz kicking off for Alabama, and once more he sails it through the end zone. Auburn starts 1st and 10 at its own 20. Now Sullivan has to pass virtually every down. Bama knows it. Look at the pressure. Sullivan gets it away to Unger, but the play picks up only 3 yards. Strickland, Searles, and Mitchell make the tackle. Second down, Sullivan back to pass again. He's firing for Robinette, but he can't hold on to it. It's incomplete. 3rd down. Sully gets more pressure from Bama, but gets his pass away for Beasley. It's incomplete. Norris just misses the reception. The Tigers shift into punt formation this time. A long count. Beverly finally kicks it away to Bobby McKinney. McKinney makes the fair catch at the Bama 38. 11:46 to go. Bama wants to run the ball and the clock. It's Bisceglia right up the middle for 4 to the 42. Second down. Bisceglia once again, this time for 4 more to the 46. 3rd and 2 for the Tide, and guess who gets the ball? It's Musso with Bisceglia blocking. He picks up 7 yards. First down, Bama at the Auburn 47. Clock's rolling, and so is the Tide. Davis back to pass. Finds LeBou on the sideline. Joe gets by a tackler. Picks up 12 and another first down at the Tiger 35. Back to the ground for Bama. Back to Bisceglia. Steve gets 3 at center. Now Davis gives it on a quick opener to Musso. He picks up 6 more to the Auburn 27. Johnny gets the call again on 3rd and 2. Tigers rack him up, but not before Musso battles his way to the 24 and a first down. Davis wants to go to the far side, but he trips and falls. A 3-yard loss back to the 27. On second down, Davis right over the middle. David Bailey has the ball. He picks up 12 yards, bringing up 3rd and 1 for the Tide. Here's Davis right up the middle for 2 yards and a first down at the Auburn 13. Now Terry wants to throw again and again to Bailey. David gets by 1 defender. Runs over another for 10 yards. Bama 1st and goal at the 3. Looks like the Tide's headed for another touchdown as Musso goes off right tackle to the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal. Musso gets the ball, but he runs into LeBou. Ball pops free. Tigers recover in the end zone. Drive is stopped, but Bama did burn up 7 minutes on the clock. From the 20, Auburn has 4:44 to make something happen. Sullivan goes to Terry Henley. Pass play makes 9. Searles keeps the Tiger halfback from making a first. 2nd down. Sullivan hands it to Lowry. He goes right, and he has the first down at the 36. Searles again on the tackle. Sullivan drops back to pass right over the middle. And there's Jeff Rousey with the interception. Look at the blocking in front of Jeff. He's to the 30. To the 20, to the 10, and finally Sullivan blocks him out of bounds at the 6. This time Bama won't be denied. Look at the hole for Musso on the left side. Johnny takes it in for the touchdown. Bama fans are really ecstatic now, cheering for Musso and his teammates, and they're doing all right too. After all, they've just locked up their first SEC title since 1966. Bill Davis kicks the extra point, and Alabama has the victory over the Auburn Tigers. The final at Legion Field. Bama 31, Auburn 7.
Leroy would certainly be, Pat Sullivan, and there'd be many others, really, but Musso certainly was. And here's what Coach Brown had to say after the game. He said, "I know one thing. I'd rather die now than to have died this morning and missed this game."
Well, he would have missed some great plays. Let's look at the highlights from this one. It started very early on with Terry Davis scoring Bama's first touchdown in a 6-yard run and put Bama out early. But here's the second touchdown that's coming up, and I want you to look at the blocking by Bisceglia, Musso, and Sawyer, John.
Bisceglia was 44. There goes Musso taking a man out. Terry Davis is keeping. Man, that's just like you write it up on the blackboard, isn't it, Tom?
It certainly is. 14-0 early. Here's Auburn's only touchdown of the afternoon, and it was not a pass by Sullivan, but by Harry Unger to, who else? Terry Beasley.
Terry Beasley.
That made it 14-7, and Musso just absolutely ran the Tigers crazy.
And that's a guy who Thursday was having trouble walking, believe it or not, Tom.
33 carries, what, 167 yards?
167 yards.
Well, this particular run helped set up a field goal by Bill Davis, a 41-yarder. It made it 17-7.
Good job by Terry Davis on the hole. That snap was kind of high, wasn't it?
Well, the defense did its job, too, particularly in the fourth quarter. Chuck Strickland intercepts this Sullivan pass, and it set up a touchdown.
Chattanooga.
Who did a pretty nice job running here.
That's Mitchell, I believe, number 97 there, over there with him and blocking for him.
Well, Musso got the touchdown, and nice pitch here.
What a pitch, fine pitch.
And Johnny runs it in 12 yards for the score. That put Bama up 24-7. Sore toe and all, that's a pretty nice dive.
He went airborne.
Then the final score, a guy named Jeff Rousey is going to step in and intercept this pass.
Good, Jeff, from Jacksonville, Florida, now on the Alabama coaching staff. Got some friends along with him, doesn't he?
That was always the key. No matter what happened, you knew there were going to be a convoy of guys out there blocking for you. And for the year 1971, this pretty good celebration.
Give Sullivan credit, he bounced him out of bounds.
That's right. And here's Musso, the final touchdown of the day that made it 31-7 in favor of Alabama. And the guys are celebrating a little here, John, for some strange reason.
Can't blame them. That was a happy day because that was a game that meant a great deal to the seniors. And Musso was a senior that time, and Joe LeBoux, I believe, was too. But there were a lot of guys that had quite a year.
Well, some final numbers from the game. Sullivan, for instance, 14 of 27 for only 121 yards. Bama intercepted him twice. Terry Davis, on the other hand, was 9 of 11 for 105 yards. That's not bad for a quarterback who couldn't throw.
He should have been chunking, shouldn't he?
Well, the final offense totals 400 yards for Bama, 179. And yes, it was ball control. Bama had the football 41 minutes to Auburn's 19.
When you got a star offensive team, you keep them from having the football, and they'll do it every time.
It'll do it every single time. Well, thanks for joining me, John. I hope you enjoyed it.
Certainly did. It was great to relive and great to see those so many of those great players.
Well, we hope you'll join us again next time for another of Bama's greatest games.